So thank you so much. Thanks everyone for having the brief introduction. So now let me introduce myself. So myself Aditya, I'm having 14 years of experience in SAP, and I started my career as an ABAPer, and then I moved to SAP MDM and then MDG. It's been more than 8 years now. I'm in MDG, and I have been part of material business partner, including customer, supplier, and finance domain. And I have been part of implementation and support project as well. And basically, I have an opportunity because I started my career as an ABAPer. So basically, I have an opportunity to look MDG from all three different angles, because MDG is a techno-functional skill set. It's a techno-functional module where you have a uh, technical side, you have a functional side, and you have a overall architecture. So because I started my career as an ABAPer and as a technical person, so I have an opportunity to look into this or to work on MDG technical, then functional, and now basically architect level also. I'm a solution architect, but doesn't matter. Whenever it's required, I switch myself into technical or functional or architect role, whatever it's required for the project. So this is overall experience, and so far I have delivered mainly retail and manufacturing projects, uh, mm, and they are kind of a mix: implementation, support, and rollout as well. So that's overall about my journey with MDG. So now I will slowly move on to the topic, and I'll try to make the interaction interesting, try to give a brief but a very important informations. Uh, but before that, I would say that uh, whatever I will talk about, uh, obviously interactive session I want, and but the thing is that uh, I will explain certain things first, then I will pause myself, then I will open the floor for question answer, and then I will again continue. And there are some very common questions which people having. So these are the questions along with some important informations about MDG, because I can see there are lot many people in this audience. They are actually coming from a different background. So SAP is completely new for them. So it is very important for them to understand first what is MDG and why MDG is important, and what is the current market situation, and what is the future about MDG. So it has to be very clear. The objective of doing this should be very clear, and then we can get into the details slowly. Okay, so let me start with. I'll try to make this session short, simple, and interactive. Okay. Okay. Now let me start with. Okay. So first of all, before we really talk about what is MDM, what is MDG, the first question comes in mind that why MDG? Why we have to do this MDG, master data governance or master data management, whatever it is. Why master data is so important for any kind of industry. So if I simply start with a one example, which I usually give almost every session. That is, if you go back 15 years, 20 years back, and if you compare that situation and today's situation or scenario, you can see a lot of differences. That time, 15, 20 years back, having the data was a challenge. But now the situation has been changed drastically. Now we have a lot of information. We have information about our customer, about supplier, about our products, about our financial details. But when you have a lot many information in place, then it comes with additional responsibility. And what is that responsibility? That is, you have to utilize that data. You have to align the data in such a way that will give you the return. That is most important. Otherwise, just having the data is not going to give you any benefit at the end of the day, right? So that is the first starting point for master data importance. That why master data important for across the industry. Okay. Now the next question is that now you give me one simple example that why master data is so important. Let's say for an example, you have a product, and that product you are uh, mm, manufacturing globally, and you are selling globally, but for some reason you can see some down growth in that product sale. Now you are giving some discount. Now that discount should reach out to your customer, then they can attract and they can probably buy your product, right? So this information has to reach out to your customer properly. That is one very simple example of having the master data. That means you have to update your information about the product and ensure that that information has to reach out to the customer. Then customer might attract and can buy your product. Okay, so that is the reason we need to constantly update our master data. Okay, so update of the master data is very important from financial angle, from sales, from manufacturing, from the ingredient of the product. So everything we have to update uh, every time. So make sure my data has to be updated. That is one of the point that why master data is so important. Because the moment you update the data, that will give you the return at any form. Means it can grow your sale, or it will give a more better visibility for customer, etc. Next thing is the automation. When you have a lot of data, it is also important that you must have a automation in place. So automation means like your creation process, your updation process, these are the process you have to be automated. Then it will be easy. It will be the operations will be fast. Otherwise, what happens? If you see earlier, 10 years back, or even nowadays, I have seen there are many organizations who are still not part of data management or governance area. They have this old school method. They want to create one material. So let's say requester basically reach out to the procurement department gives the information, and then that information they reach out to the plant, then sales, then purchase produce department, and get the multiple approvals, verifications, and then finally they create the material. So this whole process takes a lot of time, takes a lot of communications, and there are a lot of loopholes. So we need to change this situation, and this master data management and governance basically change the entire situation. It gives a certain framework which will make your process not only automated, also very simple, user friendly, and robust. Okay, so that is the another point why you need master data, and particularly data governance and management and governance, this area. Then the rest of the things comes into the what the other improvement can be done, etc., etc. So these are the major 2 points why we need the master data, why master data is so important for across the industry. Now coming to SAP. So it's not a SAP. There are a lot of other organization, they deal with the master data, whether it's Oracle, whether it's IBM, Informatica. They also have their own master data tool. But SAP master data, like SAP introduced first SAP MDM, master data management. That master data management is basically having four different tools. One is console. Console mainly used for all kind of structuring, the basic structuring. You create some attribute, you create some custom table, you make some mappings, all these activities. Then we have in MDM uh, import manager, data manager, and syndicator. So import manager basically use the data import activity, data load. Data manager is basically used for mainly the data validations, derivations, calculations, workflow, such kind of activity. And syndicator is mainly used for the data replication. Okay, so replicate to some target system. So that is SAP MDM, and SAP MDM was the first module from SAP on master data. But over the period of time, what SAP and its customer also experienced, that it is not very up to the mark tool. There are a lot of drawbacks we have. So if I talk about some drawbacks, like for an example, workflow. If I start with workflow in MDM is a very simple workflow. It cannot have a complicated situations to deal with. Similarly, the data validations, derivations. Similarly, replications. There are also some restrictions in the replications area. And then you have a data load activity. That is also kind of a old school method. Okay. So these are the basic area which SAP and its customer identify that no, we need a kind of a upgradation of it. Then SAP introduced data governance, master data governance, SAP MDG. So SAP MDG is a transformation module from MDM. Now from architectural point of view, they are not very different. They are more or less similar from architectural point of view. You have a source, you have a target, and blah blah blah. But from process point of view, it's completely different. So the basic difference between the data management and data governance is data management, the backend is C++, and the data governance is the backend is SAP ABAP. Now that's the biggest difference, because the moment you have a SAP ABAP in the backend, your opportunity door will open significantly, because by using ABAP, you can deal with a lot of situations, a lot of complicated situation in a very simple way. Okay, because the programming language itself is giving you a lot of benefits. So that is one of the big transformation uh, from MDM to MDG. Now in MDG, basically we have a modules like material master, we have a business partner including supplier and customer, and finance master. Apart from that, we also have something called retail management and enterprise asset management, etc. But mostly these four major module: material, finance, BP, under BP we have a customer and supplier. Majority of the customer, they deal with this four. Now uh, in MDG, what is the new? So basically there are a lot of advantages you have. First is, if I start with workflow, it's having the advanced workflow, rule based workflow we use, that is nothing but the very advanced level of workflow. It is workflow with the business rules, so both. Secondly, the validations and derivation which we use here, it's a very mature level of validations, and it's a very easy to manage complex to complex situations by using the backend ABAP coding. The next thing is the replication. We have a replication through ALE, IDOC, and SOA services. By using that, we can uh, we can make the replication process more easy, user friendly, and at the same time very means impactful replication to the multiple target systems. It is not only S4 system or ECC system, it can be any third party system, CRM system, SRM system, etc. So that is the major benefit. And obviously there are some more like search, duplicate check area, UI, user interface area. So these are the area also improved significantly in this MDG. So there, that's the basic, the history of MDG, that why MDG is necessary for industry, and what is the difference between MDM and MDG. Now the next question is that now by using this MDG, basically what industry does. So basically every industry having master data. Now by using MDG, they are basically streamline their data, streamline their process, the whole business process. Whether it's a creation, change, block on block, archiving, all this process, it becomes very mature by using, or you can say the the process become automated by using SAP MDG. So that's what SAP MDG is so demanding at this moment across the industry to managing and governing the data. Okay. Now, as per SAP's record, there are more than 1,000 customers who already transformed mm, SAP MDM to MDG, and there are many new players which are coming into this MDG area. Okay, so that is a basic history of MDG, or a basic understanding. Now, as I mentioned, that master data. So basically we have a four different type of master data. First is the reference data. The reference data, it's a more or less a kind of a basic informations, like your you know uh, your material. If I start with material, so material group, uh, unit of measure, material type, then followed by, if I talk about sales and purchase, then company code, sales area, purchase org, plant details. So these are the data which we consider as a reference data. Why reference data? Because mostly MDG we use as a greenfield implementation. I'll come to that. What is greenfield implementation? What is brownfield implementation? But for now, just uh, understand that MDG we normally use as a source and indigenous box, independent box, and we have a target system like S4, ECC, other systems. Now, what happens that in MDG you basically process the data. Okay, process means creation process, update, change, block, archiving, etc. process. Basically request some data, some basic data. Without that you cannot accomplish. So that data basically you collect from the from the actual system which is running. Okay, so it could be your target system or it could be your another source system. So that data you basically collect as a reference data. Okay, so these are the basically data. I'm talking in a very brief way. Maybe when we will have an opportunity to discuss, then we will go much more in a detailed way. Okay, then you have a master data. Master data means customer, supplier, material, finance, GL account, cost center, etc. That is a master data. Then you have a transactional data. As far as MDG is concerned, it's a master data tool. We don't deal with any transactional data in MDG, but we are not talking about here the MDG. Here in this slide, we are only talking about how many different type of data we have. So one of the data is a transactional data. Okay, and then we have a reporting data. Now earlier, when when I'm talking about earlier, let me tell you that architecture which we have, it started from MDG 6.0, 6.0, then 7.0, then 8.0, then 9.0, and then in 9.0 we have a like s4hana flavor started. Then we have a 9 point, I think right now we have a 9.2. Okay, and obviously different additional patches we have. So these are the different versions. Basically from 9.0, a big transformation happened in MDG area, because MDG 6.0, 7.0 was ECC MDG. So backend was ECC. It was MDG 8.0 when MDG associate with HANA, not S4 HANA, just HANA. But in 9.0 onwards, it associate with S4 HANA. So association of S4 HANA is a big transformation. And there are a lot of benefits are there. Probably when we will have opportunity, we will talk about more on the benefits area. And now from MDG 9.0 onwards, this reporting data also included. Otherwise, it was not inclusive. That time it was exclusive before 9.0. So after 9.0 or from 9.0 onwards, it became part of MDG. So we have a something called MDG reporting, analytics and reporting. So that is also now part of MDG. Now how we were using previously, we will probably talk about later point of time. So like earlier before 9.0, how things were using as a reporting, etc. So this is the different different data. Okay, master data is just a one type of data. Now MDG capabilities. Now if someone asks me, you tell me the major pillar of MDG. According to me, three major pillar. One main thing is MDG. We can use reusability. Like I don't need to, if I have a material created, I don't need to again do something to change that material from scratch. The same material I can use and I can change it, I can update it. So the reusability is one of the big factor here, which makes your life easy as a requester or as a approver. Second part is the uh, data quality and the governance framework. So the kind of a data quality and governance framework we have by using brfplus approach, it is, according to me, it's a big transformation. Okay, and the third point is the replication. Okay, so the replication is not only to S4 system or ECC system, in fact multiple target system, and that is to through ALI doc and SOA services. So according to me, this is the three major area where I can say it's a main pillar of MDG. Okay, so when I'm talking about MDG capabilities, Basically, we have out of box delivery. So there are kind of, you don't need to create from scratch. Everything is available as a package of business function, webbed into services, list of authorizations object. You need to activate them, and then you will get the basic details, the REST data model, the change request types, business activities, basic UI templates. And then with the help of that, you can build your own, process. That is the biggest benefit. It's a very handy situation for you. Then integrated object model. So in MDG, data model, process model, UI, everything is tightly integrated with each other. And then it performs, it calls the data from one to another level. And then you have a governance system and the data quality. So by using the data quality, you can create different validations rule, different derivations rules, and then you have a data governance. Okay. And then the replication. And finally, as I mentioned, reusability and extensibility. That's the most important thing. This reusability is basically it's the same master data. You don't need to create all the time. You can reuse them. You can copy them and create another master data. So that's the mm, major, I would say, benefit. Now coming to the material master. So if I talk about all the master data, so if I start with material master, we have a material basic information followed by sales data, plant details, then MRP details, then purchase details, etc. Then customer master data, customer basic information. Now here, one interesting fact is in ECC, what is the difference between the ECC and MDG in terms of customer and supplier? So the basic difference is in ECC, when you say customer, it means customer. But in MDG, when we say customer, it means business partner followed by ERP customer. When we say supplier, that means business partner followed by ERP supplier. Okay. So always business partner is on a top hierarchy level, and the data is then copied to the customer and respective supplier level, particularly the address data, tax information, bank details. These are the things. So basically it's a shared data, I would say. Now in customer basic information, company code, sales data. These are the main thing. Similarly for vendor or supplier, vendor basic details followed by company code and purchase data. And finance master data, mainly the GL account, cost center, profit center, company, etc. So these are the master data I'm talking about very briefly here. Definitely when we will get the opportunity, we will have a more discussion on that, and obviously hands-on. Now this is at a glance. These are the master data: financial master data, material master data, business partner with customer and supplier, then enterprise asset management, and then retail management. Mainly these three are the area which most of the organization works. Okay. Now, before I start the individual items in MDG, now always remember that MDG is a techno-functional module. Now, it is not necessary that one person will have both of the understanding. Yes, if you have, then it's a benefit for you. But it is not a hard and soul rule. Any MDG project, if you see, they have a functional consultant, they have a technical consultant, they have an architect, etc. So it's a combination of all. Don't ever think that a functional consultant does not have much responsibility to do. In fact, according to me, functional consultant is having bigger responsibility than a technical consultant. Okay, so those who are coming from non-technical background, so don't get this kind of a thought that if I don't know ABAP, then probably if I don't have the technical understanding, then I can't do much in MDG. No, there are many people I have been worked with in 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 last 7-8 years, particularly on my MDG journey. If I talk about, they have zero understanding about ABAP, but they are excellent consultant on MDG functional area. Okay, and that is what exactly I'm going to convey. Now, whatever MDG I have learned, if I tell you something honestly, I have never gone to any training. MDG came into my way, and it's been, I have been very fortunate, and it came very suddenly, I would say. And whatever I learned, that is from my real experience, real project experience. Nothing, no training, nothing. Okay, so that is the reason the way I will share the experience with you, that is something which is completely on hands-on. Means, because according to me, if you have more hands-on, you will have a more understanding on the things. So whatever the things I'm now going to start with, whether it's a data model, process model, UI, workflow, every topic we will have a plenty number of hands-on. Okay, and then I can show you the what exactly the different requirements, and trust me, whatever I will explain, more or less same requirement you will identify in your real-time project, because this is what MDG all about. There is nothing beyond this. Okay, so many people having this basic question, I'm coming from such and such background and I have not much ABAP experience, so whether I can really fit myself. Of course you can fit yourself, and you can do much better job with much great responsibility than one technical person, so, and that is the whole purpose of having this discussion, that what are the area technical person will look into, what are the area functional person will look into, and what are the area overall one architect will look into. So that's the benefit. At least I have to see the things from all three angles, and that is exactly I'm going to share with you. Now, coming to the data model, so now I'm slowly getting to the MDG areas. Now in MDG, as I mentioned, that it's a completely different process than MDM. I'll open the floor. Please bear with me because I'm into the flow. So let me complete this. Then I will open the floor. In the meantime, if you have any question, please write it down. So make sure you should not forget that. So coming back to the data model. So basically, a data model is a major process in MDG. It's a basically warehouse. In data model, basically we have a different data model like BP, finance, etc. Inside the data model, we basically maintain the attributes, entity types, its relations. Now, what is attribute? What is entity types? Its relation? Uh, we will discuss whenever will have an opportunity. But basically, in the data model, we gather all these informations which is required down the line in the master data. Okay, and then we activate them, and that same data model information will carry to the next level. Am I audible, guys?
Yes, you are, Aditya.
Yes,
Okay,
Aditya.
okay. Now, in this data model, again, as I mentioned, that mostly our discussions will be hands-on. So we will talk about three things: mainly the custom data model, We will create the demonstration on custom data model, then standard data model, and then enhancement of the standard data model. These are the three areas which we will touch upon with different examples. Now next to the process model. So process model means here we are talking about the processes. Create, change, mark for deletion, block on block, mass change, mass update, etc. Different processes. So how we deal with the different processes? Again, we will have a similar situation like custom process model, standard process model, and enhancement of the standard process model. These are the area. Again, we will talk about with hands-on. Then UI. Now UI is nothing but the user interface. Now remember, in MDG, the purpose of having the MDGs, we are not going to use any transaction in order to create, change, or update the master data. We are going to using the change request. So change request is nothing but it's a UI. It's an external UI where you have all the necessary data to fill and then validate, and that record you ultimately submit, and based on that it will continue for the different levels of approval. So at the initial of the discussion, as I mentioned, like earlier, what happens, or those organizations which are not in master data management and governance scope, they have to, means requester has to reach out to the procurement, then get the information, and then reach out to planning, then sales, then finance department, and get the approval, and then the whole process complete. But here in MDG, we make the entire process automated by using the workflow and the respective user interface. So this user interface, you have a data, you enter the data with the obviously enough validation rules, and then that UI will travel to procurement, then planning, then purchase, then sales, then finance, and at the end, once everything or every level's approval done, then complete, and then your material will be created. So this UI, again, we will see with the custom UI model, standard UI model, and enhancement of the standard UI model. Then workflow I cannot say like this: custom, standard, enhancement. No, workflow means entirely custom, because every business flow is a unique for the organization. Okay, so every workflow is different for every industry, for every organization. Okay, and obviously for every process, maybe for a create you have a different flow of workflow, then for change you maybe have a different business flow, for other like mark for deletion maybe different flow. So every flow is different. So in order to deal with the workflow, we use the rule based workflow. So here in this particular chapter we are going to see the rule based workflow, and obviously the other things like how we can deal with the roles, positions, etc. Now validations, derivations. This is the chapter which is pure technical chapter. Okay, but the benefit of having this discussion is those who have decided that I'm going to project myself as a functional, but it does not mean you will close your eyes when you will have something having the opportunity to see the technical area. Rather, it is a benefit for you that if you know at least on top of the things that how things can be done in terms of validations, derivations, then it will be easy for you to guide your technical expert. Okay, so here in validations and derivations, basically we will deal with the brfplus and above body. Now here we have two things to talk about: service body, rule body. Under service body we have a email notification, rule context preparation, dynamic agent selection, and parallel processing. Where in rule body, we have a single entity validation and cross entity derivation. Remember, every single item we will do with hands-on because every item is different than other. So just having the discussion on PPT, not enough. You need to see the actual technical details. And while explaining them, I will debug in front of you. So also you can see the debug flow as well. Particularly those who planning to move yourself in the technical area, that will help you. And then search and duplicate check. What are the different type of search we have? How we can configure the duplicate check? And there are a lot of other tricks in search. How you can make any particular search as a default search. So these are the trick which we will show you. And then the data replication and import. Basically in data replication, we will deal with the data replication framework, which is associated with AliIDoc. Either you can go with the AliIDoc approach or you can go with the SOA service. Now, if you ask me whether any limitations we have, like for material, we can do this, or for finance, we can, no, it's not like that. Now, there is no limitations. Either you can choose AliIDoc for any master data, or you can choose SOA services. But there is a basic difference between them that we will talk about. That why SOA service is having little benefit over IDoc. Okay, and then we will have a data import, and particularly in this we will also talk about mass processing and data consolidation. Mass processing means mass data change, and consolidation means mass data creation. Okay, so it is also a part of a data load activity. Okay, and again with hands-on. And finally we will talk about SAP Fiori, because MDG by default it comes with SAP FPM, floor plan manager. Now these are the different upgradations. Like first is the base layer is the webbed info. Then the next hierarchy is a top level hierarchy is FPM, floor plan manager. Then the next level is the Fiori, which is basically UI5 component. So Fiori, we are nowadays using Fiori because the same appliance for approval, for creations, it's now not only limited in the computer level, also you can utilize in your mobile app and also in tablet. So for mobile and tablet, Fiori is a or UI5 component is the better approach in terms of external UI to deal with. So that is the reason we move to Fiori. So in this particular topic, we are going to talk about like what are the different Fiori catalog tiles we have, how to create custom catalog tiles, how to create catalog groups, custom catalog groups, how to configure the standard catalog tiles and standard catalog groups associate with the respective rows and the OData services. So these are the things. And finally, we will also talk about briefly on process analytics and data quality management with hands-on. Please remember, with hands-on. Okay, and that's it. So these are the area which we basically going to cover, and this is basically our daily sheet will be where we will have a chapter wise topics. First, if I start with introduction. Introduction is mainly fundamental discussion, purpose of MDG, architectural details with various deployment options like greenfield implementation, brownfield implementation. What is the difference between that? What is the ideal situation for the industry? Then a business framework for data governance, Then out of box configuration for material, customer, vendor, business partner, finance. So these are the areas which we are going to talk about. And after every session, we will talk about how much completions we have made in respect to this chapter, and then the estimated hour we spent. So everything is transparent. The idea of having such kind of agenda is we should not deviate from our objective. This is our objective, and we must complete our objective, and then next we can do if we have an opportunity to do something different. So next is data model. In data model, develop custom model, then enhance the standard data model. Now here we will talk about add custom field in BP and finance data model, add custom entity types in BP finance data model, CVI mapping concept genil model. These are the areas with hands-on. Then process model, develop custom process model, enhance standard process model for BP and finance, and then activate type linkage, and many more other things, because everything you cannot define in the topics, but these are the major topics. That means UI modeling, configuration details for floor plan manager, develop custom UI model, enhance the standard UI model for BP and finance. You can see everywhere my target is very simple, that is BP and finance. BP means including customer and vendor. Then develop field property activities to make some certain field mandatory, to make some certain field grayed out, to make some certain field value as a default value, to make some certain field hide hidden. That sort of a technique we can do through this field property activities by using the feeder class implementation and through field property body. Again, this is a little technical area. Then you have a workflow. So develop rule-based workflow, hands-on with change request, step types, action, different approval procedures through rule-based workflow, and develop different type of role concepts in MDG. Then validations and derivations. As I mentioned, in validations and derivations, we will mainly talk about these are the details: service body and rule body with hands-on. Okay. Then search and duplicate check. So basic understanding about different type of search, develop HANA based search, develop duplicate check configurations, and then discuss about DQM, data quality management. And then data replication with ALI doc and SOA services. Then we will talk about DIF, including consolidation and mass processing, and also file upload, file download, key mapping, value mapping. And then in enrichment, we have a Fiori concepts along with the data analytics and some interview question preparations. Now, apart from that, people will also look into the certification. Now, we do have means, first of all, try to understand. Our objective is very simple. Our objective is to bring someone in a certain level that that person can independently start working in the project. That is our objective. Now, certification preparation is slightly different than the real-time work in MDG. Agenda is same. Agenda is not changing. But in certification, those who have appeared in SAP certification, they might have this understanding. That certification means theoretically you need to be very clear, in depth. Here, mainly my objective is practically to bring you that level where you can independently start working. It does not mean that we are not discussing about theoretical details. Theoretical details will be there, but in project, at the end of the day, you need to deliver the object. to bring you that level. Okay. Now coming to the certification, if you are coming with 100% guarantee, I cannot give you guarantee. It is up to you and your hard work. We will talk about the things, we will talk about all these topics. Probably I can also help you with certification dumps and all this. But end of the day, you have to be ready with yourself. Okay. So that's the whole objective. So it is better to clear everything from day one. Otherwise, people can say, okay, I came here because I thought if I do this, then I will clear the certification. No, ultimately, end of the day, it's you who will clear the certification. It's not me, right? So that is one thing. The next question which comes in mind that how many sessions we will have. Mainly, we will have a weekend session, and weekend we normally spend 2 to 3 hours each day, and we talk about those topics, whatever the listed topics which we have here. And every after having the every session, we have a already one SharePoint available where topic wise we have a different folder, and every folder you will have a different documents on obviously specific to these topics. Those documents are, some are SAP standard document and some documents which I create with some examples, because the scenario is something which I need to create, right? And that document will also have the coding as well. Okay, so if I can show you at least one document, then you will have, I just unshare my screen. Mm, at least you will have an understanding what I'm trying to say. Okay, allow me to share my screen. This is just one document, one of the old document. See here, this is a derivation topic. Now in derivation, we have a document like how you can derive it with screenshots. Then single entity derivation. Every like material and supplier. It's a old document which I am showing you. So here with the code and some examples. Okay. Similarly, cross entity derivation with the explanation, brief explanation, because this is exactly I'm going to show you in the session, and the code with debug, and then dynamic derivation with Z table. So exactly how it is happening. So this is how we prepare the documentations, which will make you very clear that how the things are happening. Okay, with different examples. More example you come across, you will have a more clear concept. Okay, so these are the questions, and interview questions also we will have a discussion. It is also part of our agenda, and obviously whatever, and you will get the system, dedicated system. You will be using that system, and if you have any question or any difficulties while executing that, then the following session you can ask that, and we will help you to clear that, and that's it, I guess. I think we have discussed almost everything, but again now I'm opening the floor, and if you have any question, please share your question. Okay. I know there are a
Okay.
lot of information, but I tried to explain as simple as possible. Yes, please go ahead, please.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Aditya. It's very comprehensive. But my first question is the demo and the system that we will access is MDG on HANA, right?
Absolutely. MDG on S4 HANA, and that is to 9.2 with the latest
Okay.
patch, Fiori 2020.
Thanks a
I
lot.
mean, I mean S4 HANA 2020.
Okay.
Okay. Otherwise, if we don't have this, it's a very important question. We will not able to execute this scenario. DQM validations, derivations. If we don't have this latest one. Similarly, data analytics and Fiori, obviously. And obviously, consolidation and mass processing. Rest of the details are basic details. Whether you are using S4 or ECC does not make much change. Obviously, search is something where we are using HANA based search. That is also another area. But if I talk about data model, process model, UI, and workflow and validation derivation, till this, you will not get any difference between ECC MDG and S4 MDG. The actual difference you will start realizing from here. Okay, so these are the areas which particularly show a service data replication. That is also not possible in normal ECC. Okay. Yes. Any other question you have?
Aditya Hemant here.
Yeah, Hemant, please.
Aditya, I have not been involved in any master data activity creation. Okay, so for me to understand this or to build this MDG logic, is it should I understand those fields like what is the purpose? For example, this material master, it will have many views and some fields also with some functionalities. So for me to build this MDG logic, is it required for me to understand all those things or how is it?
You mean, if I understand your question, basically your question is uh, whether for me to understand the core functional area like
Yes,
material or SD, that is your basic question. See, the
yes,
thing
correct.
is, the objective of this session is, see, we are talking about MDG. MDG is dealing with lot many things. MDG dealing with Fiori, MDG dealing with FPM, MDG dealing with master data like material, SD, etc. But we are not the expert of FPM. I'm not the expert of Fiori or FPM. FPM itself is an ocean. I am MDG consultant. So for MDG consultant point of view, whatever required, that we will provide you here. So you don't need to worry about that. The minimum thing what is required, that we will do. See, if you have, apart from MDG, if you are doing extra effort and trying to understand those things, then definitely it is going to benefit you. But at the end of the day, you will be treated as a MDG consultant.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you will be treated as a MM consultant,
yes, yes,
right?
Aditya, I understand that.
Yeah.
But what my doubt is to build this logic, right? What you're saying, this governance in MDG.
No, you don't need any material background for that.
Yeah,
It's a completely
should I have
different
that
ball game.
background?
No, 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 not at all.
Oh,
Okay, so it's complete. Even though one MM people does need to learn this, so it's a completely different ball game. So no,
okay.
that is not required.
And one more thing, Aditya. Actually, this SAP, right? I think they're going away with BRF plus, right? In future.
I'm not having that information. Maybe this
Okay.
is updated information, but no, I'm not aware about this. At least at this moment, whatever the project we are doing, we are using BRF plus. I don't know about this information.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Any other question?
Hi Aditya, this is Sunil.
Yes, please go
Hello.
ahead.
Yeah, what are the topics are related to function? What are the topics are related to technical?
Okay.
In that,
Thank
please.
you. I forgot to mention this. Yeah. So
Okay,
basically,
thanks.
on top of the things, if I say introduction is anyway, like it's okay. Data model is a functional area. Functional mainly, see, no one can say that, functional is this function, but one project expectation is that functional consultant should manage this area. That is the unwritten unwritten expectation. So that is the data model, functional, process model, functional, UI. It's a combine because functional configurations also involved, and then when you are doing some validations and derivation activity on UI, there you will be required to deal with sometimes feeder class implementation and field property body, where you need to deal with the ABAP code. So there you will be required ABAP. So it's a, I would say, mix, functional and technical. Workflow completely functional. Validations and derivation mainly technical. Okay, because majority of the area you need to deal with the body and the BRF plus. And obviously, it does not mean functional people will stay away from this. Okay, so because it is also involvement of BRF plus, but mainly technical area. Search, duplicate check, mainly functional, little bit technical flavors are there, because in DQM you also do the data validations and data derivations. There you need to build some uh, little bit ABAP logic is required. Okay, so that's what. And also uh, trick, like I want to my search method to be default as a HANA based search. I want my entity type to be defaulted as some specific entity type. So these are the area where you need to go to the backend feeder class and set them as a default value. There you will be required ABAPer. Okay. So again, it is a mix. Data replication, it is a completely mainly functional, but it is having good involvement of technical as well, because any kind of a replication error, sometimes you need ABAPer to identify the root cause. That is one of the reason I'm saying that it is required ABAPer sometimes. Otherwise, configuration of DRF, configuration of ALI doc, this is purely functional job. Again, configuration of data import framework, configuration of consolidation and mass processing, including the preparation of the payload file and the data load activity. It is a functional activity. Then value mapping, key mapping, this is also the configuration is itself is a functional job. But sometimes you will be required ABAPer to identify the root cause. So it is required. Then here enrichment, Fury configuration, purely functional. And data analytics, again functional, but may be required ABAPer for backend analysis. So these are the on top of the things I can say it's a functional and technical responsibilities. So overall, if you see, it's a neck to neck comparison. So they have to work neck to neck. Then only you can really accomplish the job. Okay. Any other question?
Hi Aditya, this is Sachin.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is the future scope of MDG, like in around 10 years? And like
Mm.
after a few years of experience as MDG consultant, what will be the options for us to take our career to next level?
Okay. Very important question. Very important question. Okay. As I started with this, so now almost every industry is having master data. There is No doubt about it. Now, whenever you have a master data, the question will arise that how we will manage. Now, comparatively, as I mentioned, SAP is not only the partner who is providing this master data solutions. There are also other players like IBM, like Informatica, like Oracle. Other players are also there. But comparatively, if you do the neck-to-neck comparison with MDG with other master data, MDG is a next level solution. So because of that reason, that people are always prefer to go with MDG. Okay, so that is one thing. Now the second point is how much opportunity we will have. I would say the best way to judge this, you see the at this moment you see the LinkedIn, or you see the any job profile where what kind of opportunities are available in the market in terms of master data solutions. It's a plenty of opportunity. So people here in MDG area is such a area still at this moment when I'm sitting and talking today. We have a more work, but we have a less hands to do that. So we need more people in this area. Definitely there will be a saturation point. There is no doubt about it. Every module is having saturation point. But remember, whether we have any replacement of ABAP, I don't think so. At least as on today. So MDG is having flavor with ABAP. So the module which is having the flavor with ABAP, you can say it's okay. So definitely there will be a saturation point, but I don't know when it will be, after 5 years or it may be after 20 years. But at this moment, as on today, we have more work, but we need more people. We don't have sufficient people at this moment in this area. That is what you can see. There are a lot of demand in MDG area. Okay. Any other question? Okay. So if there is no question, thanks for your valuable time. And these details, this agenda and this PPT, I'll request coordinator to please share with everyone. Please go through it. If you have any question, which unfortunately you cannot ask here, do not hesitate to ask those questions. We will try to revert back you as soon as possible. And thank you so much and have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditya.
Thanks, Aditya.